The NBA has a problem where you may see a lot of parity within the league and a lot of different teams actually upping their game to be competitive. There still, in my opinion, stands 1 and 2 teams that are clearly above the pack. And the Phoenix Suns are absolutely one of those teams. I don't know if anyone got a chance to see, but I'm going to give you this recap real quick. They scored a lot of freaking points in the first quarter. If you're new to this channel, this is P.kidd Talks NBA. We are going to break down, this is my season, baby. We're going to break down a couple of things, but the one thing we do have to understand is the Phoenix Suns are an absolute problem. We're going to get this out the way. Like, share, subscribe. Anyway, you know why you came. Let's talk about it. Right now, the Phoenix Suns look a lot like, in my opinion, what the Golden State Kevin Durant team looked like. You just can't guard them. I don't care what anyone says. There's only 2 teams I think can actually effectively guard this Phoenix Suns team. They've filled out their roster with just enough talent to make everyone else a threat. And if you really look at it, you have 3 people you would normally double team. Now, what makes this such a comparable to the Golden State Warriors thing is because you had to double Steph, you had to double KD, you had to double Clay. But I would argue that Bradley Beal is a shooter that can put the ball in the hoop and attack the basket a lot better than Clay ever has. Clay's a better shooter, don't get me wrong, but if I had to go full game, I would say Bradley Beal has a better floor game than Clay. This actually may be the second coming of that particular team, and ironically, it's still led by Kevin Durant. Now, ultimately, people will sit there and say, well, Kevin Durant ran this and that. That doesn't even freaking matter. At the end of the day, the Phoenix Suns are a problem, and the NBA has very little, if any, answer for it. And it looked like it. 46 points in the first quarter, and they were on cruise control the entire time. Now, I know some people are going to sit there and say, well, this is the Detroit Pistons that they were playing against, and it's also just a preseason game, this, that, and the other. But they were cooking and flowing so well. I mean, by the end of it, even though the score ended 130 to 126, Devin Booker was in street clothes by the end of the game. They came out, did what they needed to do, and let the bench play for the rest of the time. And the bench is something to talk about. A lot of people claimed and clowned the bench and some of the moves that they made. They said, oh, they just put some guys in. Well, guess what? When you have 3 stars like that, you just need some guys. And they got more than just some guys. Grayson Allen himself had 18 points in the first quarter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And ultimately, you have to ask yourself, how did they allow this again? Isn't the new CBA supposed to do away with this? And how can they keep it together? And this is one of those things where I absolutely admire the fact that the Phoenix Suns new owner was just like, whatever, we about to win. And he went out there and did it. He took a swing, and guess what? It's preseason. And I'm like, that team's probably going to go. All in all, I know this is just preseason. I know this is just like, hey, what are you talking about? It's a lot. People say this is a fluff piece, and it kind of is, because at the end of the day, the Phoenix Suns are cooking and will be cooking. And what worried me the most about all of it is, even though it was like a lot of your turn, my turn type of situation, if they, again, just have 2 other guys on the floor, you're going to have 2 other guys who could eat so much off of this mere presence of Kevin Durant just setting foot on the court with Devin Booker. And then another guy who's going to eat so much just because Bradley Beal's on the other side of Kevin Durant, that you're going to have a lot of people sit there and be like, dag, how did that guy? Grayson Allen now is averaging 20 points. And guess what? It's very possible because Devin Booker has nothing to prove. KD has nothing to prove. Bradley Beal has nothing to prove. You know who they are offensively. You know who they are. If they have other guys who can step up and take advantage of the simple fact that, hey, we command so much attention, that's a team that is not only primed, if egos stay in check, that's not only primed for a championship. It'd almost be like, you know how you say championship or bust? It really would be championship or bust for them, because barring injury, which even then, they still have so much firepower you should be able to manage through. What else is there for them to accomplish? But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I know it's just preseason, but just getting this first glance, getting this first look at what the Phoenix Suns are, who they are, how they looked, and things of that nature, just puts things into perspective for you. Like, they're really that good. But you knew that, though. I knew that. But to see it is different. to see, oh, wait, Devin Booker is still going to be able to average Devin Booker numbers. KD can still somehow average 24, 26 points a game off 11 to 12 shots because he's just that efficient. Bradley Beal is still going to be Bradley Beal, and it looked like it flowed pretty well. Now, there are some top points of the game where it did get chopped, but again, that's where you get I like to use it as an excuse, but it's like it's preseason, though. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and use this game against Detroit of all teams to make it seem as if the Phoenix Suns are always going to be this dominant. I'm pretty sure they're going to be lows in this season. However, if the egos are in check like they say they are, if people are as in step as they say they are, these kind of just mean nothing. And ultimately, you're going to have a bunch of games where we're like, just get to the playoffs already, because this team is definitely primed for that. But again, I want to hear your thoughts, man. There's a couple of teams that made some big moves. We're going to talk about another team that actually made some moves that look really good as well in the next video. But this one is all about the Phoenix Suns. Let me hear your thoughts. Whether it's up, whether it's say, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Let's talk about it. Peace.